Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Boy and the Way He Makes Me Stay. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Most mornings begin the same way. An alarm that feels too loud, a ceiling that looks too plain, and a mind already racing ahead to the day's responsibilities. On one particular morning, I was running late, my bag half zipped, shoes untied, and thoughts tangled in deadlines and unfinished tasks. I moved quickly, determined to get out the door before the day had a chance to overwhelm me. That was when Boy stood in the doorway. He wasn't doing anything remarkable. He simply sat there, slightly tilted head, soft eyes following every hurried movement I made. His tail tapped lightly against the floor, not impatient, not demanding, just present. I stepped over him. He stood and followed. I grabbed my keys. He rested his chin on my knee. I sighed. Boy, I'm late. He blinked slowly, as if time meant nothing. In that quiet pause, the house felt different. The rush softened. The noise in my head loosened its grip. Boy leaned gently against my leg, his warmth steady and grounding, like an anchor I hadn't realized I needed. I knelt, just for a second, to scratch behind his ears. That second stretched. His tail wagged harder, tapping out a rhythm of pure joy. He licked my wrist once, as if to say, "You're here." That's enough. I stayed an extra minute, then another, and somehow, the day felt less heavy when I finally walked out the door. Afternoons often arrive with fatigue. The energy of morning fades, replaced by a quiet heaviness that settles into the shoulders. On days when I return home feeling drained, Boy greets me as if I've been gone for years. He does not ask where I've been. He does not ask what I achieved. He celebrates my return. His paws tap across the floor in a clumsy dance. His ears bounce. His entire body wiggles with joy so sincere it feels impossible not to smile. Sometimes I try to walk past him, still thinking about unfinished work. He blocks the way. Not aggressively, not stubbornly, just firmly enough to say, pause. He brings me his favorite toy, the slightly torn cloth ball he refuses to abandon. He drops it at my feet and steps back, eyes bright with hope. I tell him, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes becomes laughter, clumsy throws, missed catches, and Boy sliding across the floor in heroic attempts to retrieve the ball. His joy is contagious, uncomplicated, free from performance or expectation. In those moments, I remember something important. Boy never measures time by productivity. He measures it by connection. Sometimes we step outside and sit together in the late afternoon light. The air carries distant sounds of motorbikes and neighbors talking. Boy sits beside me, not demanding attention, simply leaning his small weight against my side. The world slows. The day breathes. And I stay. Nightfall used to be the time when loneliness felt loudest. After the noise of the day faded, silence often felt heavy rather than peaceful. But Boy changed the meaning of quiet. In the evenings, he curls beside me as I read, work, or simply sit in stillness. Sometimes he sighs deeply, a contented sound that fills the room more warmly than music ever could. If I shift, he shifts closer. If I stand, he lifts his head, watching. If I return, his tail taps the floor in a gentle greeting, as if to say, "You came back." There are nights when I consider staying up late, lost in endless scrolling and unfinished thoughts. Those are the nights Boy stands, stretches slowly, and walks toward the sleeping mat. He pauses halfway, looks back at me, and waits. He doesn't bark. He doesn't demand. He simply invites. And often I follow. When I lie down, he circles twice before settling near my feet, his breathing steady, rhythmic, reassuring. The house feels safe. The silence feels kind. The darkness feels softer. Because Boy is there, I do not feel alone. Because he stays, I stay. In a world that constantly urges us to move faster, achieve more, and stay endlessly connected, Boy teaches the quiet power of staying. Staying present, staying gentle, staying with the small moments that truly shape a meaningful life. He reminds me that love does not shout. It waits patiently in doorways. Connection does not require grand gestures. It lives in shared silence, soft eyes, and a warm presence beside us. Productivity may fill our schedules, but companionship fills our hearts. From Boy, I learned to pause before rushing away from moments that deserve my attention. I learned that rest is not laziness, but renewal. I learned that being there for someone, human or animal, creates trust, safety, and emotional healing in ways words cannot. In modern life, where stress and loneliness quietly grow, we can apply these lessons by slowing down, noticing the beings who depend on us, and honoring relationships over relentless busyness. Spend intentional time with your pets. Listen to their rhythms. Let their presence ground you. When we choose to stay, even briefly, we rediscover calm, compassion, and connection. And sometimes, staying is exactly what saves us.